I can't talk apparently.
Don't worry, I can't either.
Okay.
I've been up
I think we're live.
super late. Let's see what it says.
Oh,
Yep,
God.
there we are. Now let's see how it looks.
Really
And
hate.
all right, looks the same.
I'll take it.
Cool.
I really hate programs that don't give you just a "let me quit this program right now" thing. Skype used to do this, and it used to really piss me off.
Oh, you wanted me to close? You close to the tray, right? Oh, and then close that to
Dude,
the task menu. Yep.
Teams is the worst for that bullshit.
Yeah.
And it sucks because usually I'm dealing with people who are not technically inclined. So when I tell them, no, you just hitting the X on the Teams window did not close Teams. You
Right.
need to find it on your taskbar on the lower right, push the up arrow if you don't have it showing all icons,
Right.
and then click and quit. And
I'm
there's
so
always
sorry.
some motherfucker that, that's most of my job is like,
Yeah.
I accidentally did something and now I have graph paper on my Word document. How do I get rid of this?
Right. Those are always
I don't,
my favorite ones where it's just like, I don't even know how you turn that. What do I even search for, like, Microsoft Word grid lines? Okay, here we go. I'm coming to your office. I'll be right there.
yeah, because it's happened before a couple times, specifically in my office I'm currently in. It happens a lot,
Yeah.
but it's mostly just dumb stuff with Outlook or someone who deleted a file and they're like, I didn't mean to do that. How do I get that back? And I'm like, go into your recycling bin and get it. And they're like, I already cleared out the recycling bin. I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm.
I'm like, all right, let's pull up OneDrive, click on the recycle bin button, and you'll be able to pull out. I can't find it. It's literally the only 3 fucking buttons there when you open OneDrive.
Right.
It's like, what the hell?
IT.
You have you have to give me something, okay?
I need you to help me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's why I always get a chuckle whenever it's like, why does IT always seem so pissed off? It's like, that's why.
Help me, please.
My favorite one of
There's
those
always-
was the meme that was "Why is IT always so pissed off?" And the guy responded with, "Because I just drove 3.5 hours each way to turn on a server
To
that
push a
3
power
separate
button, yeah.
people told me was turned on."
Yep.
Shit
been
like
there.
that would happen all the time. When I used to work at Herman Miller, there would be a plant up in Norton Shores, which is like a half-hour, 45-minute drive. And I would get that shit all the time. My laptop isn't working, or the computer won't turn on, or the TV screen for the line isn't on.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you have the remote. Are you sure it's turned on? Is it plugged in? Yes,
Right.
yes. Okay. I get out there. All I had to do was hit the power button and it fucking works. Are you kidding me? Like, I get paid travel mileage and stuff, but like,
Right.
I talk to you guys about this shit. Like, it's not that difficult.
Man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Or like printers. Label printers were always the fucking worst.
Oh my
for
god,
that
label
shit,
printers.
too.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Printers.
I love a good.
I was
I
like,
love label
printers are their own special level of hell. Label
Yeah.
printers
Yeah.
are a secondary level to that level in
It's
hell.
like the demon on a printer's shoulder.
Yeah, I love printers, and I really do love label printers. I hate dealing with them and other people, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because it would always, Jesus Christ. I'd put new labels and it's not printing. Did you grab the correct labels? Because we use regular, label format for ink printers to print on, and we use thermal for them to burn the image on.
Right.
Did you grab the correct one? Did you grab the correct ink roll that you're supposed to be using that you swapped out? Yes. Then you get there. Nope. It's like, you stupid motherfucker.
Have one third circle of hell when it comes to printers.
Yeah.
We had to set up an inspection computer, which is a computer that allows you to do vehicle inspections. So not only was I dealing with a brand new computer and printers and label printers, but it was all organized to government contracts.
Oh no.
Well, even better.
Literally, like, the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
It was like, 'cause especially with like government stuff, you may or may not have full access to what you need to set it
Right.
all up.
Yep.
Huh?
gosh.
That was exactly the issue. And
All
he's
right.
like, oh, hey, I need to call for help. Let me just be on hold for 4.5 hours.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. Are you guys ready to get started with what will most assuredly be an incredibly cursed episode?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, great. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hi.
And the Nimp.
If this comes out sounding normal to you guys, thank Boston.
It's not
because it is just all messed up right now.
We've had nothing but technical issues across both recordings today. Internet drops, camera freezes, audio drops. It's just we're getting all the possible problems out of the way here in this episode.
I want to promise that nobody's going to Beyonce picture me when my camera freezes.
Yeah.
Like, because nobody's going to take that
already have
screenshot
a
and
bunch
share
of screenshots. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, of course, cameras only freeze when you're at like the worst position where it like looks you're sneezing, where it's like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knuckles deep into your nose. And
That's right. If you want to hear all of our technical troubleshooting, including probably a video version of this that I need to put up just so you can see all the chaos that happened in the sliding block puzzle game that had to happen here with the streaming software. Check that all out over at patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones are numbers. I'm not getting blinded by the sun anymore, so that's good.
That's right, yeah. You see Moon get punched in the face by the sun at the same time, too. All of that is in the Outcast, the exclusive, uncensored, behind-the-scenes episode that we record every week, where we're talking about everything that isn't video games, everything that's going on in our lives can be found over there. You also get early access to Critical Misses, early access to We Really Like It. You get exclusive access at the $5 tier or higher, which is the recommended tier for The Wayward Sons, which is the Supernatural TV show watchcast that Moon and Nimp are going through. Brand new episode just came out last week, so you can catch up on all the first, I think it's 17 episodes are out right now. So motor along,
yes.
Season 1.
Yes.
Get that all over there. Patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones are numbers.
All right, Moon. What have you been playing this past week?
Do I start with how I really ticked off Pharaoh?
I saw that there was a Pharaoh posted on our Discord server of a surprising achievement list.
Yes.
And Moon froze. You didn't hear that.
or maybe he's still talking.
A bunch.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Yes. The audience heard it. You're not supposed to point it. It's like a segue. A freeze is like a segue.
Right.
You're not supposed to point it out. You're supposed to just smile, nod, and say yes and.
Yeah, but I don't have audio. That's the problem.
Well, I was going to say...
You do when you get my file. That's the
That's right.
difference.
I also didn't connect that a transition called a segue and the mode of transportation called the segue
right.
existed. I don't know why. That just now clicked in my head.
It just clicked. It is your
Right now.
down moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I got a message from was frozen this entire time I have been speaking. Fabulous.
If this episode comes out a little bit shorter than normal, you might figure why.
Yeah, 100% cursed.
Yeah,
I'm blaming Boston. This is not my fault. It's Boston's fault.
I run the internet, and I thought I'll just turn your dial a little bit down.
Oh, believe me, I'm debating just doing a full get rid of this thing that might be causing the issues and seeing if that helps. I tried to disable it. I can't. I have to literally uninstall it. Great. Anyway, I'm not going to do that while we're on the show, obviously.
Thank you. I mean, why not? No, what else could possibly go wrong at this point?
That's right.
I mean, that is true. But no, Pharaoh sent me a message. They were 400 gamer score ahead of me, and the achievement lists on the Xbox, and then with like 20 minutes to go, apparently, and like suddenly I've got 4K and I'm top of the leaderboard. That's because somebody asked me, "What's this butterfly game that I see in your game list?" And it's like, "Oh, you want to see butterfly? I can go for a quick and easy 1,000 gamer score." No,
Sure.
it was a quick and easy 4,000 gamer score. That's what it was instead.
Wow. Okay.
So that is where the jump came from. I am not a gaming savant. I just had someone ask me what butterfly is, and then played it until I beat it, and then uninstalled it because it is a hot garbage mess of a game. Don't play it. Don't look it up. Just don't even bother.
I was just thinking about like, boy, I'm gonna look on YouTube for butterfly game. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, don't even worry about it because the fun part is you're not even a butterfly. You're a caterpillar who's collecting flowers, and at no point do you even turn into a butterfly.
It's just like Vampire Survivors, a game that's full of vampires.
Yes, exactly. No, you're the vampire surviving against the horde. We've had this discussion before. I'll say that game till last, I think. Which means that the only other game I'm going to talk about other than the big boy is Payday 3.
Oh.
I've never played. Secretly frozen the entire time he was talking. And Payday 2 was secretly one of the best-selling games, like money-making games of last generation, essentially.
Yep. Yeah.
It was understated how much money that thing made. So, you know, Payday 3 gets announced, and I have a couple of friends, so we were all like, I threw the Payday line down. I was like, hey, you guys want to, like, you know play Payday 3? You want to steal some stuff?
Check out a little Payday 3, maybe?
You want to get in on this action? So we were like, yeah, sure. No, 2 of the 3 of us have never played a Payday. So we all jumped in. Payday might be the dumbest fun I've had in years.
Okay.
In the fact that you can try and do the whole thing stealth, and usually it just breaks down into chaos and anarchy. But it's pretty fun, chaos and anarchy. It's stupid. It's very stupid. You've got that John Wick lining on your clothes, so you know when you get shot, it doesn't really matter that much.
Okay. And it's really just a heist game, right? Like you have a thing you need to go do in your levels, and you're
the video
it up.
You've got the video you're playing on the stream, Boston. That is essentially the first level. Okay. It's like, hey, it's this like little bank. You know, we need to go in, break into the vault, steal as much stuff as we can, that kind of thing. And you can start stealthy, and then you very quickly, when you're playing with our group of friends, things get loud.
Right.
So we all started off, especially because okay. But in order to start playing this game, when you eventually do unfreeze your screen, what you do is you load it up, and then you have to sign in for an account. That process, it doesn't even use your Xbox profile. You have to create a new account to sign in, to sign up for it.
I really hate this with online games now.
Or at least like
just
let
use
me
my
create
Xbox profile.
I can understand if you need me to create an additional account to do crossplay stuff or in like cross save, but at least let me connect that account to my Xbox One, where it's like, yeah, just like sign me in via Xbox. I'll do that.
As much as I don't want to do the praising of the game that must not be spoken of, but Destiny does this fantastic. You signed in with an Xbox. That's your primary account. There you go. Problem solved.
You link all the other ones, and then you got your account set.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this is like, no, you need like an email. It's like, okay, go through all of that mess. And as soon as you load up the game, it's like, do you want to do the tutorial? But myself and Rob were waiting to play with each other, so it's like, no, we don't want to know the controls.
Just want to get into a level.
Yeah. We want to jump in as blind as possible, not knowing the controls, not knowing how to do anything. Let's just go and play. So we did. And then things went loud immediately. And because we're playing on the normal difficulty, we just had a fun time.
Nice.
And we did like 3 levels back to back. I think there's like 10 or 11 levels that I've seen in the game so far, but all of them can be replayed endlessly, and there is a whole bunch of challenges associated with like doing the level completely before the police assault has started. So, in other words,
okay.
successfully stealth your way through the entire level, essentially, is what they're talking about there. And when we went back and we redid the first level with Justin, like we had a lot more understanding. We had unlocked silencers for our pistols, for example. So
sure.
we had a way to remain stealthy while also, quote unquote, going mask on, which is usually the secret code word for things have got loud, and that's when you put the stupid clown mask on your face. Boston, they do have a Le Fantôme mask, which is exactly what you would expect it to be.
Pretty good.
Just so you know. But I don't know, it's stupid, it's fun, it's ridiculous on so many different levels. It's the Fast and Furious of heist games, I guess.
Great.
Where everything's about doing things together, and fingers crossed you steal a whole bunch of money. Like, we stole like 500k. It was great.
Getting out with family.
That's right.
Yes. The family you choose, which is the most important family that exists.
That's right.
But yes, I don't know. It was fun. It was stupid. It was a good distraction from everything that's going on right now. So it was a fair little thing to jump in and play. Oh no, I forgot about the other game I played. Hold on. Clumsy Rush, Boston. If you could please do me a favor and pull up video for Clumsy Rush.
This is going to be a fever dream.
Rush.
It is. It is 100% a fever dream. Like, as in you are racing hippos through procedurally generated maps. But the way you have to do it is you have to basically the person to win is the person who gets to the end of the map with the crown. So it's King of the Hill mixed with like some stupid racing game.
Okay.
It has 2 control schemes. It says one is quote unquote fun and one is more easy. So you can use the stick to run around, or you can basically do left trigger, right trigger to move your different legs. Based on who I was playing this with, we did the stick controls because I wasn't really interested in doing something absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
But then it has like modifiers, which is like, oh, now the floor is made of ice, and yet and then also move faster. But if you have the crown and you boost, you drop the crown. So there's a catch-22 to using it.
Okay.
But it just becomes this chaotic, weird, animalistic, no pun intended, party game of trying to not really understand what's going on sometimes, because it can just get super duper chaotic. There's a bounce modifier, which every time you touch a hard surface, you bounce like a pinball, and it's just the most ridiculous thing I've seen. Like, it literally made me feel nauseous. So I don't know. It was a fun distraction for a couple of hours. I don't know how much time I'm actually going to put into it. I think I bought it on sale for like 20 cents or whatever.
Sure.
So the more you play it, the more modifiers you unlock. The more modifiers you unlock, then you just pick random and just let the hippo gods have their way with you kind of thing. But it is very much like one of those upper body physics games too. Like when you control the legs, but the upper body like responds based on what you're doing, so it becomes goofy in all kinds of silly ways.
Right.
I don't know. It's like a split screen Fall Guys with less climbing involved, we'll say.
Yeah. Based on this video,
So
that sounds about right.
yeah, it was dumb, fun. I don't know why I bought it. I don't know when I bought it. All I know is I did buy it. So that was part of the "what's this game?"
Right.
Conversation that was happening. But it was fine and fun and stupid, and I'll probably wrap it up at some point. No, I won't. Who am I kidding? I don't have the time.
That's right.
Speaking of not having time, Starfield.
Yeah,
So
Starfield.
I will talk about what I've done first because I've probably done the least, if I'm completely honest.
Okay.
You've done more than me because I haven't touched it.
Okay.
Well, that's because you beat the game because you're a big winner. Oh, I built more bases.
Okay. Still haven't done that.
I built a lot more bases. I'm being stupid at this point in how many bases I'm building. And I joined the UC Vanguard.
Okay.
Cool.
I also got a mission for the spy mission, which is the business mission I think you guys were talking about.
Yeah,
I
liked
too,
that one a lot.
but I haven't touched any of that yet because like I literally just got... I have an army of bases leading to one base, so now I'm just taking a break from that and wandering around. I did finally get Sarah Morgan's loyalty mission.
Oh, nice.
It is called In Memoriam. It is a
Okay.
fantastic mission. I don't know if it's worth dealing with Sarah Morgan in order to get that mission unlocked.
Okay.
I wouldn't have bothered with it. But the In Memoriam mission is... It's a really, really good mission, and I cannot say anything that happens in it because it is immediately 100% spoilers.
Oh, okay.
I will just say it involves her time in the UC Navy.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know she was in the Navy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in the
That's how
Navy.
much I don't care about Sarah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, honestly, you shouldn't. But the In Memoriam mission is really, really good. Can't say what happens in it because, obviously, spoilers.
Right.
It's fun, though. You should probably give it a try. Other than that, that's all I've done in Starfield. Like, base building, a lot.
Now that we've all put in a lot of time, has anyone had any weird game issues at this point?
I have a crash every once in a while, and oh, I forgot to mention this last week. I found the source of my crashes. Apparently when you get over 100 saves, the game gets real weird. We get over...
Wait, hold on. Are you playing it on PlayStation?
Bethesda.
A genuine question, are you? Because that is the Skyrim problem.
No, I mean, it's not on PS5, sadly. But if you get over 300 saves, things get real bad. And I forgot to mention, when you look at your like save and load list, it shows 20 of them. And I was like, great, yeah, it's just cycling through saves. No big deal. I'm just going to keep hitting new save.
Adding.
Everything will be fine. I had no idea it was still adding. So when I get to the bottom, and I was like, well, how old is this? I get to the bottom, like save number 20, and it loads 20 more. And I was like, oh no. Well, I'm saving a lot. I had like 360 something saves that I had to go through and delete. After that, game runs super smooth.
Okay, I might have to do this.
I was just running with 2 manual saves and then all the auto saving that the game does. And then I would alternate between the 2 manual saves that I had, and I didn't have any issues at all that I had to call back on a save, or unless I screwed something up.
Yeah.
But, like, the game didn't require me to flip back to an earlier save or anything.
Yeah, I might have to do this then, because like whenever I go to my big base that everything feeds into, every now and again it's just like, oh, something's blocking your building here. It's like, no, it's not. Oh, you can't interact with this workbench because it's currently blocked. It's like, no, it's not. Just stop with this madness. Like,
yeah, I was seeing just weird stuff all over the place like that, so I wonder if that's gonna clear out your issues.
Yeah, guess I know what I'm doing tonight.
Or maybe you just have too much going on base wise
Right.
for it, and it's just kind of freaking out a little bit.
Possibly
Yeah.
because I do have like cargo ships coming in all the time.
Right. Or it's
Yeah.
a Bethesda game. Either one.
I was gonna say, I have to agree with them, at least for my sake. I speak for everybody because everyone's running different things and whatever. But yeah, for me, this has been the least buggy Bethesda game I've played
Yeah.
so far. Because
Yep.
the only
So-
issues I've had are ones that I've put forth already. So,
Right. Yeah.
but anyway, sorry, I just wanted to get that out there since we all put in a fair amount of time with the
Yeah.
game.
No. Yeah. The only
also,
thing.
for the record,
go ahead.
I did not mean to sound like an a-hole earlier. I completely forgot this is exclusive to Xbox.
It's also a very
your
good.
thing is a valid concern.
It's also a very good Skyrim PS3 joke of, hey, you decided to play Skyrim for too long, it just doesn't work anymore. Start a new game. Maybe do it faster this time.
But did you try playing it on your toaster?
That's right. That's right. The only thing I really focused on this week, I will talk about some tech issues I had with this game when I talk about a different game of mine. I have been moving on with where are my notes here? What mission am I on? Oh, I'm on the Rangers quest line.
Okay.
I kind of don't like
Is that
it.
part of the UC?
No, that's the UC Vanguard. This is the Rangers quest.
The free
Essentially
Ranger,
I don't.
the Cowboys of Space.
Yeah, they're essentially like cowboys, not bounty hunters, but kind
Deputies and sheriff, kind of.
Yeah. I kind of don't like that quest line. I'm about halfway through, and it's not bad, but I think the Vanguard stuff was pretty interesting, and the corporate espionage stuff was good. So I kind of don't. It's okay, but I'm not really that interested in any of the storyline stuff yet so far.
I will say that if you are looking for a better quote unquote ship, suffer through it because it does give you like a pretty decent ship once you complete all of their stuff.
Well, it's interesting because I've gotten a couple of ships so far. Like my parents gave me one at some point as part of the like parent quest line, which was kind of nice as a benefit from picking up that as like one of your origin traits. I got one from doing. I don't even remember what quest line it was, but essentially you went to somewhere and there was like a famous bounty hunter or something that.
Oh, you did the Mantis quest?
Yes, the Mantis quest.
Yes,
I haven't done it yet.
You got a pretty
that ship and stuff that you get is really good too.
Yeah, that's the one I've been flying because it wasn't much better than the one I have, but without spoiling it, there were a couple of other benefits above and beyond.
The one that you get from the free space people, it's kind of like a step up from the Mantis. Like kind of like an in-game kind of ship.
Right.
And I'll just leave it at that. It's also bigger too, so you may need a higher, I can't remember if it's still A or if it's a B.
I can fly B class ships now.
Okay. Because I know it's not a C, but
right. Yeah, I'm mostly sticking with it because I want to see through the 4 main quest lines. So I'll have this one and then the pirate one to do. And then I want to do the main quest, and by that point, that'll be kind of... I'll maybe pick up a side quest or 2 here or there, but most of them haven't seemed super interesting. Maybe I'll look up a list of, like, what are the best side quests in Starfield to go through?
I'm already at that point, too, where I'm just like, there's too much. Like, I don't have the time to search the entire galaxy to find the 7 or 8 quests that are genuinely really solid. So I already have like like 2 or 3 different website links open, waiting for spoiler free, go here, speak to this person.
Sure,
kind of
go
stuff.
do this quest line. It's called this, and like we've been talking about, like I'm having fun with Starfield, but none of it is to the point where I want to go do all of it. Like I don't want to scour the universe for every possible mission because it's not it's not that great. Also, the video footage we're watching here is watching this person go through the game and scoop literally everything up they run across. And I'm playing exactly the opposite. Like, if it's not a digipick or a med kit or ammo, I'm not picking up any of it. Like, none of it, and no armor or guns or anything is worth any of it. And I get the impression that that's a problem that gets solved in New Game Plus playthroughs, because it sounds like you get better gear as part of that.
It does, because it gets rid of all the crap that you've picked up to that point.
Right. Well, and it sounds like the more new games you roll over, the better quality gear you get. So, like, I'm on my first playthrough. I don't need to pick up anything. So
I understand now why a bunch of people started coming out saying, hey, just mainline your first playthrough to get to New Game Plus.
Sure.
At first I thought that was kind of stupid, but now that I'm in New Game Plus, I understand where they're coming from.
Right.
Because of the benefits that you get from just doing it.
Right.
And also, if you continue to play New Game Plus games, there are other benefits that you continue to get.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I was bringing up too with like Moon when he was talking about doing his outposts and stuff. I was like, hey, if you do that, make sure not to save over that save if you want to go back to doing that stuff, because you're gonna lose it all.
Sure.
Going into New Game Plus. Yeah. So if that's what you're enjoying right now, do not continue the story.
Right. Yes. So I'm having fun with Starfield, but I don't. It's not really. I didn't really go in having any expectations, but it's kind of, I'm not feeling the pull where it's like, oh, I gotta get all my stuff done so I can sit down and play Starfield. I gotta do this so I can get back to Starfield. Like, there's nothing really like that, and that's fine, because not every game has to click with me. But it's a little bit of a bummer that like a first-person shooter space exploration thing isn't clicking with me, because I want to play another one of those. So,
yeah.
That's all I got for Starfield. Nimp.
So I played 2.
There you go. What have you been playing this past week?
All right. So I jumped into Atelier 3. I have beaten the game now, finally.
Oh, nice.
That took forever. Because I have a hot take on Atelier series that it is basically a Souls-like game now.
Okay.
Always has been. Always has been. Because in these games, you don't have a skill check, you have a craft check, basically, where you're gonna hit a boss, or you're gonna hit something, and it's gonna make you reevaluate all of your equipment and all the items that you've been using. For me, the final quote-unquote craft check was the final boss. I activated it just to see, okay, how far behind am I to be able to take this thing on? And I was woefully far behind, because that thing one-shotted my entire party, no problem.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So I had to go back, and I recrafted them. So I had like fairy elixirs and regular elixirs. And I rebuilt all of them, so that way they heal everything, like all at once, everybody all at once. Up to this point, most items where you select a target, it heals that target. Okay. This one's everyone. Your current characters on the field and your 2 reserve characters, it hits everybody. So then I added a bunch of buffs to each of them. So now I have like all these defense buffs, these elemental buffs, attack buffs, all this stuff. And I set up one of them so that way it auto revive, or sets up a revive as well for all of my characters. All that helps. Went through, did the same thing for my accessories, armor, weapons. I think I tested all of my equipment against the final boss about 3 times before I managed to just barely squeak by.
Okay.
Because it has a stage transformation where once you get it to a halfway point on its health, it does a massive attack.
Okay.
And it hits your characters 3 times, all of them, and does massive amounts of damage.
Great.
And if it was a 4th time, none of my characters would have survived.
Okay.
But I managed to get just enough so that they had just enough health left after that 3rd hit that I could, all right, let's start healing people.
Right.
Then they would all start auto regenning, and then I would every time they make an action and get a new action, they start regaining health as well. So I had it set,
Right.
and that's how I managed to eke by this boss. Was just barely making it through its super.
Man.
And once you beat the boss, that is not the end of the game. There's like a bunch of like wrap up stuff that it does, and kind of comes to like this conclusion, wrapping up all 3 games, and you get kind of like these flashbacks of everything up to this point with all the characters and stuff. It was really cool. It was a nice end to the trilogy, basically. And I'm looking forward to see what they do for the next Atelier game. I guess.
Yeah, whatever the next trilogy is going to be.
Yeah, because they at the end of give you a direction that they could go in. Usually none of the games have anything to do with each other.
Right.
They're not even, from my understanding, they don't even take place in the same world most of the time. So they kind of put at the end of this one that, hey, these are events that could be happening. It's like, okay, that would be kind of interesting, but I would also be down for just having like a completely brand new protagonist that has nothing to do with this world as well.
Right.
I would also be down with them going back through and kind of redoing all the old games like they did with, I forget what Marie, Atelier Marie was the new one that they came out and they did like the TV version of that, and that was like the first game. And I know that they've gone through and done like DX versions, re-releases of all the other ones that added some quality of life stuff, but those are really hard games, which is fine.
Yeah, they're very different experiences too.
Yeah, so if you're not read up on them, Sophie was probably the most modern one before Ryza. So if you want to jump into one that isn't Ryza, check out Sophie. It's everything I enjoy. It's just, I don't know why I keep buying these games, because they tend to come out when I don't have the brain power for them.
Right.
And then it kind of forces me to pull out the spreadsheets, and I'm like, I hate it, but I love it at the exact same time.
Yeah.
That's all I have going on with that. I did beat I think it was 41 hours was my end time with the game.
That's not bad.
So, and I wasn't even doing everything. After a while, I just started doing the main story, and I was just doing enough crafting just to get by. Because I don't know why I do this to myself, but instead of making god tier weapons and all that stuff, I like to see, okay, what's the bare minimum I can do, which is still a ton. But
right.
These games are not for the faint of heart. My last game that I played this week that I picked up on deep discount was Forspoken.
Ooh, here we go.
Yes, Best Buy currently has it on sale for $29, and I had a $10 Best Buy gift card, so I got it for $21 this week.
I should get back to this, because I started this.
I was going to ask, I couldn't remember if you had beaten it or not.
No, because I think it came out, and I was playing it and enjoying it, and then, like, something else that was bigger came out, and I was like, well, I'll be back to it, no worries, and I have not been back to it.
So, the whole reason I even started playing this game was because the how long to beat was like 14 hours just doing the main story.
Okay,
I have not beaten this game yet, but yeah. To do everything, it was around 24-ish hours. Obviously, your game time will vary, because it is an open world game.
Yeah.
So I am already on chapter 7 right now.
Okay.
And I have fought my first Tantalus, which, or is that what Tantalus?
That sounds right.
Something like that. Yeah. Basically, in this world, there are 4 women that kind of rule certain areas of this world, and they have unique abilities. And I got to fight what they call the strongest one. And that kind of sucked a little bit, but now I have gained her abilities as well. And it's kind of opened up. Now I have like these 2 different magic cues that I can use. This purple one that you start with, and this red one that you got from beating them. And I am currently on my way to, I think, another one of those to fight right now. I'm not positive. The story is fine. Like, I think it's a really cool idea and concept. I am not 100% behind the main character that you play as. Not because everyone usually throws out like, oh, the main character swears too much. if you listen to the pre-show, I swear way more than this character does, and a
Also-
lot more fragrantly than she
Also,
does.
she's from modern day New York. Like, she's
York.
just a regular
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have an issue with that.
No.
My issue with the main character is the fact that they attempted to kind of make her like this anti-hero,
Mm-hmm.
and they did a really bad job with that.
Yeah.
Where she is constantly whining and complaining that she doesn't want to help people. This isn't her problem. You guys should fix or solve this yourselves. But yet somehow she always manages to be the one that, you know, creates the solution for this while complaining about it the entire time.
Yeah, she's doesn't want to do any of this stuff, but when she gets her, like, because you fought the strongest Tantalus at the beginning, is because she started at the beginning of the game. It's like, I just want to find my way home. Like, I don't want to be involved in this. And she gets involved in it. And then she's like, okay, well, cool. I'm going to fight the strongest one then. It's like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
No, just don't do that, please.
And her whole thing, since it's been a while since Boston's talked about it, yeah, you will play, the main character is from New York City, our world.
Yep.
She finds Cuff, the vambrace that she ends up being bonded with,
Yep.
and gets teleported to this world. Through my favorite part of this game, while talking to Break Bob, who calls it the Voosh. And so every time she talks about the portal to him, she talks about, I really need the Voosh. And I don't remember what conversation she was having, but that really caught me off guard, and I started laughing really hard.
Yep.
Because it's a pretty serious game, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, her main thing is she's trying to get back to New York, and she doesn't have a reason to go back. Like, her only reason to go back is because of her cat Homer.
Right.
That's it. Like,
I appreciate that. I love cats, but like,
yes,
Homer's gonna be
she
fine.
She was not living a good life. She escaped her abandoned apartment being set on fire with her sleeping in it because a gang got mad at her that she screwed up a job.
And she like mouthed off to them.
Yeah. So she has no legit reason for going back. Granted, she doesn't have a reason for staying in this world either, because everyone's threatening to hurt her or kill her. Like, everybody, even the people who are telling her that she needs to do this because this is her responsibility, are also threatening to kill her.
That's right. I hope you go do this. That way I can kill you after you're done. It's like, wait, no.
And it's like, you need to take care of this because this is a problem you created. And it's like, no, you guys, this has been decades in the making in your world, and I just showed up. Like, and yeah, so the story in that aspect is just kind of weak and weird.
Yeah. And
I think they could have done a better job with how the MC is, the main character.
Yeah.
Cuff, I enjoy his dry sense of humor. They did update it so that you had the option to minimize. You can either keep his chatter to normal, which I have it on right now. You can minimize the amount of chatter or prevent him from talking at all, or you can increase how much he talks.
Oh boy!
So if you were not one of those people that found it super annoying, you can make him talk more.
He's pretty chatty. I don't think he's too bad at the beginning, but increasing that might be too much.
And he doesn't say that much different after a while.
Well, it's a lot of like. It's funny because so many things that people were complaining about with this game, it's all normal stuff. Like, you finish a battle and Cuff goes like, they weren't so bad. And like you get hit in battle and he's like, careful, they're coming. It's like, it's all normal, like, combat bark stuff.
Yeah. But I honestly don't have any issues with Cuff. He's pretty fun to listen to.
Yeah, he's fun.
He's usually very laissez-faire about everything until it actually impacts her. Because as he says, I'm not worried about dying because I'm already this vambrace thing. What I'm worried about is you dying and me being buried with you.
Right.
So that's his only influence on her is just don't die, please, because I don't want to be buried. Combat, I kind of have a little bit of an issue with the locking system on this.
Yeah.
Because you can hard lock onto an enemy, but then your character up and decides, oh no, I'm going to start shooting this person, even though the camera is looking at the one that you're locked onto. And I keep losing the lock. And it's never an issue of I got too far away. It just seems like the game has too much going on and it loses the lock.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of shooting at a thing, I am now just shooting at a wall or the ground or the sky because that's where it was when the lock canceled out. I haven't played with the accessibility options because there is a ton in there.
Yeah.
But when I first looked at it, it didn't look like there was anything in particular that would help with that. But
I don't remember.
Eventually, I'll take another look at it and see what's going on. But outside of that, the game looks good. Looks gorgeous.
I feel like when the combat clicks, it feels really good. Like, it feels really good to, like, flip around and spin and dodge and throw a bunch of spells and stuff. But sometimes it takes too much effort to get it to click.
Yeah, I feel like if you're fighting one or two things at a time, you're usually okay. Once you get about 5, it gets a little difficult. But then you'll run into, like, these roving groups, like these massive, like, field of zombies, kind of. And it's kind of funny because it's one of those things where it's like, okay, there's so many of them now that I don't actually have to aim.
Yeah.
I just have to charge my area attack and just plant it right in the middle, and then I just killed like half of them, no problem. So,
right.
But yeah, I enjoy the parkour, but it does tend to suffer from like the Assassin's Creed 1, the original Assassin's Creed issue of you were just slightly too close to the wall, so now you're sticking to it.
Yeah.
And you're trying to jump off of it, but the game doesn't know what you're trying to jump off of or where you're trying to jump to, so you just kind of hang out until you lose your stamina and start to fall, kind of thing. It just kind of feels like there's a lot of issues because it feels like this is the first time they're making this type of game.
Yeah.
And it seems like if they had the chance to make a second one, they might be able to get it, to feel better control-wise. But from the sounds of it, it sounds like they're not going to do anything. It sounds like that DLC that came out was kind of it, and that was only because that was pretty much already done.
Yeah, that's the impression I got.
Which kind of sucks because I feel like they have this is a good first game of this type.
Yeah.
And that I feel like if they actually put the time and money into it, the second game could build on what the foundation of this game was and make it even better. I say that now not beating the game, so I don't know this. The game the story could end and be like, oh no, that's just right there, hard stop. There is no, nothing else to continue from. Right. But if they wanted to, it seems like this would make for a good, decent series. Right. But yeah, that's it. It just seems, it seems like a solid B tier game. Where it's wonky
okay.
It's wonky in some aspects, but I'm enjoying it enough to get through the jank kind of thing.
Right.
If I had paid $70 for this game, I may not be as lenient as I am now about it. Yeah, like right now, it's just mostly the story and the MC. It just the way that they wrote her just doesn't feel. I won't even say likable. Like it feels like they were trying to go. Like edgelordy, I guess, where it's like they were trying to hit something and they went a little too far into that field, so now it's kind of cheesy and stupid, Right. But I'm enjoying it. I also enjoy that I found this cat familiar thing that randomly freaks me out in the field. Did you get to that point yet? The blue flying cat?
I don't remember. It's been a couple months since I played.
All right, at some point, there's this blue cat with wings, and it has like a devil's tail, where it's got like the heart, like a succubus heart end at the tail. And you have to kind of slowly creep up on it. And if it sees you, it gets like this little exclamation point above its head. And then you have to stop, wait for it to calm down. And then you get closer to it. And then eventually you can pet it, and it'll start to follow you. When combat starts, it disappears, like it vanishes in thin air. Okay. And when it's over, it comes back. But when it comes back, it looks like an enemy. The way it's kind of like this weird red fog that starts to develop, and then it turns into that cat. And every GD time it does that, I keep thinking there's an enemy that's popping up behind.
There's one more over there.
Yeah, and it freaks me out. So, But yeah, the cat is supposed to randomly find stuff for you. Anytime you go to like the pilgrim's house or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It may drop off an extra item or something for you there. So
Huh.
that's about where I'm at. I'm enjoying the game, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that it's at least pretty short. So
Yeah.
for 30 bucks, I would say it's a pretty decent. That would be about the price point I would put for this game. If you find it
Right.
even cheaper, I would pick it up just to check it out.
Right.
I heard that at some point, some places had it on sale for $9.
Oh,
So
boy, yeah. There you go.
that would have been a instant buy, but
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, Forspoken, it's fine. It's a solid B tier game, maybe slightly below B, but I'm not
Right.
worried about it right now.
Yeah.
That's all I've been playing this week.
All right. I have like a little bit of a tech adventure here to talk about with my first game, Chaos Head Noah. So there's a game that recently came out. This is part of the Steins Gate series, the science adventure visual novel series. There's a game that came out recently called Anonymous Code, and it's the most recent game in the science adventure novels, visual novels. And I bought it, I was getting ready to play it, and I read someone's review that said, hey, if you haven't played all the other ones, that's fine, but it kind of wraps up everything from all of the other ones. And I was like, well, okay, let's start finishing my backlog of science adventure games, because I played Steins Gate 0, and Chaos Child, and those are like number 2, number 4, and I think number 5 in the series. So I bought a while ago. It came out on Switch. It was Chaos Head Noah and Chaos Child came in a double pack.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, well, great. I already own Chaos Head Noah. Let's just fire that up. Let's play it. I got a Switch. It's hooked up on my TV. No big deal. So I fired that up and went down this huge monstrous rabbit hole, because there's a famous saying in these games, and especially in Chaos Child, which is like kind of a spiritual successor to Chaos Head. And the line is, "Whose eyes are these eyes?" And it's like it's a very famous through line through most of these games. And the translation of this game, Chaos Head, was supposed to not be great, but they mistranslate that line within probably the first 10 minutes of the game. And that's kind of a big thing to mistranslate in a game. So I thought, well, let's see if that's indicative of the translation overall, or is that kind of like a one-off mistranslation?
Yep.
And got into this whole rabbit hole of, there is a group called Committee of Zero who's retranslated a bunch of the games in this series because of these problems. And it extends from stuff like that, where they mistranslate some small things here or there, or they translate things differently between games. So the things that need to connect to connect these games together don't connect. Okay. They've gone through and they've stuff like Steins Gate was rather well translated. So they put out a patch, kind of a smaller patch, to fix up some stuff to make sure the terms connect between games. Because this, like most visual novels, has like an in-game encyclopedia in it that lists all of the terms that you're running through. So it fixes up a lot of that stuff. Stuff like Robotics Notes, which is a game later in the series, they retranslated about a third of that game and inserted that in. Chaos Head Noah, they retranslated the entire thing. And they redid the entire script, thousands and hundreds of thousands of words, just redid the entire thing because apparently it was so bad. And I was like, well, cool. That's probably a sign that maybe I shouldn't be playing the Switch version of this game. They did release a patch for this game for the Switch, but you have to run custom firmware. That's like a whole other rabbit hole I'm just not going to go down. So I thought, okay, let's see how much this is on Steam. And I bought it. It's like $25. I said, okay, let me buy this. Let me patch it. But now how am I going to play this on my couch? Because I don't want to like sit here at my computer and play it. Hook back up the Steam Link. Let's do this.
Yeah, I saw you post that.
So hooked up the Steam Link and got all that patched and everything set back up. And man, the Steam Link is really great. It's really, really cool, and it's so good, and it still works super flawlessly. I started by using the built-in Steam streaming, and I was having problems with the next thing I'll talk about, so I switched back to Moonlight, and that works flawlessly as it ever has. I unfortunately haven't... So NVIDIA announced... Take another step back. If anyone hasn't heard of Moonlight, it's a game streaming piece of software that originally just hooked into NVIDIA's... what is their game streaming tech? I think it might have just been called GameStream. Hooked into that tech to make it so something like a Steam Link or even a Raspberry Pi or now a Steam Deck or an ROG Ally or anything can stream any game or your desktop or whatever from a gaming PC you have. And initially, Moonlight would just hook into the game stream stuff and just use that. NVIDIA earlier this year, maybe late last year, said, hey, we're doing away with game streaming. So, good luck. Whatever. We're not replacing it with anything. So, I'm still using GameStream because it still works. So that's what Moonlight is hooked up into. I haven't installed Sunshine, which is someone made an open source replacement for GameStream. And Sunshine works with NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel GPUs. So nice. You don't have to just be hooked. You don't have to just have an NVIDIA card now. So that'll be my next step, is to install and configure that, because that supports more video codecs at higher bit rates, and it supports like stuff like HDR, which I'm probably not going to mess with, and supports higher resolutions and higher frame rates. So it's kind of, if you're starting now, you just install Moonlight as your client on the thing you want to sit down and play in front of. Install Sunshine on your gaming computer. It all hooks together, and you're off to the races. I also, so that's all set up. New translation is really great. Seems good so far. I've spent, I don't know, maybe like an entire hour messing through this with this whole thing, so it all kind of came together pretty nicely. The other thing that I did is I wanted to get Starfield working with the Steam Link, because if I wanted to have the higher frame rate, I wanted to have the higher, the faster load speeds and stuff. I have a gaming computer, I might as well use it. And if there's anything that I know how it plays right now, it's Starfield. So that would be a really good A/B test between it's running on Series X and here it's running on PC. That was a whole separate rabbit hole, because if anyone doesn't know, getting Game Pass games into Steam is tough, because Game Pass games, they're better about it now, but it's very hard to just go find it on your computer where it's like, add this exe and then you're off to the starfield.exe. Doesn't really work like that. I downloaded and used a tool called UWP Hook, which someone wrote that there's a GitHub repo for it, that takes your Game Pass games that are installed. It just presents you a list of them. You check which ones you want to add to Steam. You click export. They all show up in Steam. Wow. And it all works, and it all works perfectly. And it's the program's like 300K, and it just, all of it. I did it for 2 games Starfield and the next game I'll talk about. And it worked fine. You click on it in Steam, like, Steam Big Picture opens when I fire up Steam Link. I just click on Starfield, it fires up Starfield, everything is good to go. So, working out pretty well. Steam Link, you're still really great. 2 thumbs up. If anyone doesn't have a Steam Link and you want to do this, pretty much anything like a Raspberry Pi or any kind of small computer like that will usually do it. Try and get something that's going to plug in via Ethernet. That way the streaming works the best.
See if you can find a Steam Link on eBay, because
Steam
was doing like fire set. Like I got mine for I think like $5 or something like that.
I think I bought mine
with the controller.
For 20, and it's still really worth it. And all I'm doing is all you have to do for Moonlight is put it on a flash drive and plug that into the back, and I just have an Xbox controller hardwired to it, and it works great. So 2 thumbs up. Chaos I know I'll get into that more probably during this week. It's a very mature, explicit game. It's probably going to be as gory as the other ones are, or as Chaos Child is, so definitely not playing that in front of my kid.
Yes, a Steam Link, just the Steam Link and just the power supply on eBay looks to be around $20.
That's a good deal if you're kind of looking to do this, because if your computer is close enough that you can just like run a USB cable and an HDMI cable, that's probably a better bet. But for me, my TV and my computer are across the house from each other, and this works really, really well. So 2 thumbs up. The other thing that I played on my Steam Link, because it just came out on Game Pass this week, is Cocoon, which we talked about during releases last week. I didn't realize this was developed by a Splinter team that came off of the Inside and Limbo team. It seems like that whole team kind of like broke apart, and they made about 5 different games, like that Somerville game, Cocoon. They all kind of have the same DNA present. This is the game where you have that little orb on your back, and you're jumping in and out of the world in the orb to kind of solve puzzles. I haven't spent a ton of time with this, but it makes a really great first impression. The first time you jump in and out of that orb to solve puzzles, you're kind of bringing things between the world that you're playing in and a kind of a larger world that's outside of these orbs. It makes a really good first impression when you're jumping in and out and solving puzzles. And so far, the puzzles haven't been anything super, super difficult, but they've all been kind of those environmental puzzles that I like, where you're kind of presented with a dead end and some stuff, like some things to interact with, and the game's like, yeah, man, just go figure it out. Go crazy. What are you going to do? It's usually my jam in general, so I'm kind of enjoying that overall. So I'm hoping to spend more time with it this week. I have no idea how long this game is going to be, but it seems really cool so far. It is on Game Pass on PC and consoles. So
before you know it, it's like a 76-hour game.
Yeah, I mean, that might be pretty fun, but I mostly fired it up because it seems like a thing that I would enjoy playing. It seems very much like my type of those like exploration puzzle games that I really like. But I also wanted to test out the Steam Link, and I thought, well, here's probably a game that isn't like a Twitch action sort of thing. And Starfield actually worked pretty well with it. So I'm excited to check out more about this, and it looks cool. So Cocoon, check that out on Game Pass. Last game I have here is I actually spent more time this week than I thought playing No Man's Sky with the new expedition that was out. I fired it up for, I don't even remember why. I think it was on my dashboard, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sick this week, so yeah, I could explore some space with some the thing I like about the the expeditions is you get the very clear objectives that you're doing, where it's like you go to a system that has a red star. It's like, yeah, cool, I can do that. Yeah. And then you have like the 4 or 5 different steps you got to do to go do that. And so far, most of the objectives have been pretty fun so far. And I think it's a lot like Diablo 3, where a new season starts in Diablo, or a new expedition starts with this, and it's like, yeah, I could play a little bit more of that, and I play enough to kind of get my fill, and then I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll see you in another 6 months, sure. So, I don't know, man. No Man's Sky is great. The quality of life improvements they've made over the years have been really, really good. And No Man's Sky is super good. And
I was gonna say, at this point, if you have not played it, you're kind of missing out. Like, if you don't like crafting, fine. It's not going to be the game for you. But if your only reason for not playing it was because it released like crap,
right,
kind of way past that point. And I actually feel really good about everything that they've done about it, especially since it's all been free. Like, they haven't asked you for a single dollar for them fixing it. So,
and here's the thing that's kind of crazy is I don't like crafting games at all, and I really love No Man's Sky because I think for me the way it balances base building and crafting and exploration and discovery and travel and all that stuff, I do need to do the crafting stuff, and I do need to do all of this other stuff that you need to build bases and upgrade your stuff. But there's something that when a crafting game really hits, like Moon's been talking about Grounded for a while, you get that thing where it's like, oh, I need to get X number of things to build Y thing that will let me do Z thing that will let me do, and like you see the chain. And for me, that's where it like really, where Grounded really clicked with Moon and a lot of other people. That's where No Man's Sky clicks with me, where it's like, oh, okay, well, to do, to go a little bit further into space, I need to build this thing. Oh, of course, I need to go mine some copper and then build this and then do that. And when a game like this clicks with you, it just feels natural, where it's like, oh, I know where to get copper, I know how to do this, I know how to do that. No big deal. I got it. And that's what No Man's Sky really is for me, the idea of like, oh, I gotta go mine some copper? Yeah, sure, I'll go do that. No big deal. Just for something I need to do 30 steps down the chain. Yeah, we'll start with copper. So, yeah, I'm kind of resisting the temptation right now to fire up my main save and see what that looks like, because they've added a bunch of stuffs like cloaks and a bunch of armor options. People are posting stuff that just looks like hunters from Destiny 2 in this game, which is really wild. And they're like carrying out a tech staff, and they're flying to previously unknown parts of galaxies. And it's like, yeah, man, No Man's Sky, that's the good stuff. I'm trying to resist, but we'll talk about it more next week. We'll see if I've resisted it or not. All right, that's all I'm playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yep.
Oh man, really over whatever tech issues are plaguing all of us today.
Yeah.
Even sometimes, Nimp, you have some little garbliness.
That could be because my parents are over too, so they may all be connected.
Mm.
But that generally doesn't cause any issues for me.
Yeah, I mean, it could be me too. Like, who knows?
Yeah,
we'll just try and get through the rest of this.
I'll say this whole year has been fine up to this point.
That's right.
We gotta have one.
That's right. Gotta get our one. We'll skip questions this time, just because I don't want to answer these if we're going to have a bunch of tech issues. So.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay. Are you guys ready to get this started?
Yes.
Oh, I should probably open up trailers. Hold on. for at least
Bomb
some
through
of
them.
these that I want to remember what they are. Okay. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of October 2nd, 2023. Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtueless comes out PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no.
it's very funny reading reviews for Disgaea 7 is because it all kind of boils down to, hey, it's the same as the other ones, and that's awesome. And if you don't like Disgaea, none of them are going to bring it back, man. They're way too deep into this Disgaea nightmare that they're under. So like, don't even.
Yeah.
You're in or you're not. And I really appreciate
that.
that.
Edition is coming tomorrow, and I don't have time to play anything before I go on vacation. So
Certainly not 400 hours of this.
Yeah, no. So it's gonna have to wait until I get back.
Yep.
But yeah, I know everyone because it released in Japan first,
Mm-hmm.
or at least the demo for it or whatever. Everyone who's been playing it has said that if you did not like 6, 7 pretty much brings it back to how it used to play.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But a lot of the things that people had issue with was in 6 was mostly the auto battler, which this does have that. But and I think a couple people like myself complained about how there were less classes altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, it was a Disgaea game. I still enjoyed it. So
yeah, like it's still going to be good.
Super looking forward. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to playing this.
Nice.
Especially since this is the first one, too, that the Netherworld is based off of Japanese mythology and not Western European mythology.
Right.
So that's a whole brand new thing for this series as well. So it's going to be fun.
That'll be good.
Oh, can't wait to be doing billions of damage again.
Yeah. There you go. Next up, Scorn is coming out for PS5. I'm not going to show a video of this because that's that like gross Geiger wet game that people didn't really like when it came out on Xbox.
Yep.
So
the puzzle game disguised as a first-person shooter. Yep.
Yeah. If you're looking for a puzzle game, apparently it's pretty good. But
and I think this is supposed to be on possibly the free games for Essentials next month or this month, October.
Oh yeah, maybe. I forgot to look at that list. I always look at the Game Pass list because I feel like those are games that people usually want to play for new releases. I keep forgetting to check out the PS Plus games because they almost never have brand new or newly released games over there.
Let's see. Oh no, it's Callisto Protocol. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, right.
Sorry. Yeah. Callisto Protocol, Farming Simulator 22, and Weird West.
Well, those are 3 games for sure.
Yeah,
about as far apart from each other as you can get, really.
Yeah, that's true. Something for everybody. Next game here, Silent Hope, comes out on Switch and PC. This was just shown off during the Nintendo Direct this last month. It's that kind of chibi-looking adventure RPG, kind of action RPG hack and slashy thing. I think this looks really cool. I'm very excited to see reviews for this. I haven't seen any reviews of this at all whatsoever. So
I haven't heard anyone talk about this either.
No, yeah, I haven't either because I'm hoping that there's. My 2 hopes for this game is I hope that either 1, it's just a very good, straightforward hack and slash game, or 2, there's like some twist or mechanic to it that makes it more than kind of a hack and slash game. So
yeah, because right now the video you're showing that they had played looks right up my alley. So.
Yeah, looks real good. Highly recommend checking out a trailer for Silent Hope. That looks pretty good. Blossom Tales 2, The Minotaur Prince comes out on Xbox One and Series consoles. This came out on most other platforms about a year ago. Seems like it was fairly well received. This is kind of a pixel-based, kind of old-school, classic, top-down, almost isometric hack and slash RPG. So if you're looking for something that is maybe a bit more classic, sort of looking and playing, Blossom Tales 2 looks pretty neat.
It looks like a Zelda game, like a Super Nintendo Zelda game.
Yeah, Yeah, it looks
Actually,
really cool.
now what they're on now, that looked exactly like Zelda.
That's right. So if you're looking for something like that, maybe this has got what you need. Next up, somehow I just closed the show notes. Hold on, Control Shift T. There we go. Next up here, somehow I really snuck up on me. Assassin's Creed Mirage coming out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. I wasn't ready. These are November games. Ubisoft, what are you doing? Come on.
I'm still not ready, dude.
Yeah. I didn't finish Valhalla because, like, I have a bajillion hours.
did.
Yeah. Well, now you're ready for Mirage.
No,
I
finished all of them and I don't want to.
I also, like, I don't know if I'm at the place where I want to spend $70 on an Assassin's Creed game that I'm not going to play day one. Like, I feel like
Also,
most of these...
an Assassin's Creed game, which is the quote-unquote smaller version of the game that they've
Right.
talked about, and more in style with the original Assassin's Creeds.
Right. I mean, I like both of those. Like, you give me a smaller kind of classic Assassin's Creed game, which also the idea of a classic Assassin's Creed game is kind of wild. But, like, I usually don't like saying this on the show during releases, but this seems probably be $40 that have sort of been like, yeah, it's Assassin's Creed. I can kill somebody while I'm sitting on a bench. It's like, yeah, that's okay. That's pretty good.
I'm honestly just really curious on how it's going to review. Not necessarily if it's good or bad, but like, does it really feel like a classic? Do we really want the classic version of Assassin's Creed to come back? You know, that kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm very curious to see what reviews are. I'll probably play it anyways. I got to go like watch a YouTube video about the end of Valhalla, because if you don't know what happened, it's kind of important for Mirage.
Yeah.
But I want to catch back up on all that stuff. But
I was gonna say, do they bring back the control scheme of, you know, why is your eagle vision your head, and, you know, X is your left arm and right arm?
Yeah,
stuff.
Man. I don't know.
It was a crazy time.
Ubisoft, that was a crazy time. Yeah. Next release here is Front Mission 2 Remake, comes out on the Switch. This is a different team that's putting this out from the first one. So, yes. You know, that might be good or bad for you, depending on how you liked the first remake. But I liked the original of this too. Just like I liked the first one. They're incredibly difficult games. I can't impress that enough. It sounds like they did not change the difficulty that much of the first one, so I don't expect them to do that here either. They're rough. Like, they are. You need to be ready. You're not just going into a mission and clearing it the first time every mission. Like, that's not going to happen. So configure your Wanzer.
3.
Yeah.
3 is going to be so awesome when they redo it.
Oh, 3 was great. Yeah. Next game here, speaking of tactics games, Wargroove 2 comes out on Switch and PC.
Is this the one that you really liked the first one of?
Yeah, the kind of like cute Advance Wars style game. You know, you have a unit where it's just a bunch of dogs. I liked the first one quite a bit. I never finished it because it happens every time with one of these games with me where you go through and you get one of those missions and you're like, boy, this is pretty tough. I barely got through it. That was okay. And the next one just kicks you full, like with both feet right in your mouth. And it's like, oh, cool. I'm probably not finishing this game then.
Yep.
So I liked that first one a whole lot, but the difficulty spikes were tough. I'm hoping they smooth that out this time, because we don't have enough like Advance Wars style games, and this is very much it's literally just a carbon copy of Advance Wars, which is great. And we don't have enough of that stuff. So Wargroove 2 looks cool. I'm assuming it's going to come out on other platforms at some point. I think the first one was Xbox only for a while and then came out to other stuff. This one looks like it's Switch only probably for a while. So next up is the game that I'm definitely going to be playing, because this is my kid's favorite Pokemon, Detective Pikachu Returns, comes out on the Switch.
It looks like you're playing a Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah, very much. This guy's name is Tim Goodman. Like, it's such a Pokemon thing. My kid is also very tickled about how Detective Pikachu speaks, which is incredible.
Is it Ryan Reynolds again? Or
No,
a
it's
family of them?
no, it's the gruff, like, hey, it's me,
Oh,
Detective
okay.
Pikachu.
The Danny DeVito Pikachu.
Yes, very much so. So this will probably be a fine experience. My kid is 6, so it'll probably be like the right level of puzzle solving for her. I'm hoping that maybe I can figure it out. But it looks pretty good. So it's a Pokemon thing. They're all usually pretty good. Next up here is NHL 24, comes out for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series consoles. You already know what that is at this point. Oh, I just realized Moon froze. What did you ask? Sorry.
I just said sports games.
Sports games. Yes. Next game here, The Lamplighters League, comes out on Boy, that's fun to say. Xbox One, Series consoles, and PC. This is made by Harebrained Schemes. They made the most recent Shadowrun trilogy and BattleTech. So if you liked any of those, it's kind of like they took those games and they kind of like took the Shadowrun trilogy, where you can explore open world stuff, and smushed that a little bit more with XCOM. So you get the kind of half cover, full cover stuff that I know that Shadowrun did that as well. But this is kind of like an Indiana Jones exploration, kind of thing. So this looks pretty cool. This is also Game Pass day and date.
Cool.
Yeah,
yep.
I might check this out. This looks cool. I haven't played like a grid strategy thing in a while, and I think this could be kind of neat. So check out Lamplighters League. I think that it's fun to say and looks fun to play. Yeah, that rhymed. And last but certainly not least, we have Warhammer 40,000 Darktide comes out to Series consoles. It's on Game Pass day and date.
Great. Another game I will be playing.
Yeah, this looks real good. I know it came out on PC. I think earlier this year.
Months.
Yeah, 6-9 months ago, and everybody seems to really like it. It's essentially Vermintide, but in 40K. So if you've played a Left 4 Dead you kind of already know what you're gonna do here. People seem to really like it. So Darktide seems cool. I'm hoping. I know it launched a little bit spicy. I'm assuming now after almost a year that it'll probably have all the edges sanded off and kind of cleaned up a little bit here. So
hopefully,
we'll see. Yep. We'll see. It's supposed to be cool. Let's talk news stories here. I just closed the news. I swear to God. All right, first news story here.
What is going on, Boston?
I don't know, man. We're having a day. They can't fire on all cylinders all the time.
Are you having fish fingers for dinner? Because that's what it feels like.
Apparently, yeah. I'm having Butterfingers. First news story here. PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan to retire next year at the end of March after 30 years at PlayStation. He joined PlayStation before the PS1 era. He's going to be succeeded here by Sony Group Corporation President, COO, and CFO. He's wearing a lot of hats. Hiroki Totoki will take over in April 2024. And then they're going to kind of try and find a new person. Ryan said in a statement, quote, "After 30 years, I've made the decision to retire from SIE in March 2024. I've relished the opportunity to have a job I love in a very special company, working with great people and incredible partners, but I found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America." End quote. Hey, man, I don't blame you. That sounds like it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. More than a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm very curious what his departure is going to mean for a Sony that seems like they're
Sometimes
in a
can be rudderless.
yeah, but they seem like right now they're in a okay spot. And I the thing that is the biggest question mark for me is whether it was Jim Ryan's decision or not. It's usually not from like a president position, but Sony over the last couple of years has really been pushing into the live service stuff for all of their at least first, if not second party studios. And we haven't really seen the fruits of that labor yet, because those are, I mean, we've been through enough live service games that you spend, you know, almost a decade getting it ready and putting it out, and then you support it for, hopefully, if you're lucky, at least a decade after that.
And then it gets shut down after 4 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think we'll see any of the fruits of that labor for a while, but I'm curious to see if that will have any impact on that whole plan. Because while it seems like it makes financial sense for Sony, because if you can get a hit live service game, it just prints money month over month for a really long time.
Yeah. Destiny says hello. Grand Theft Auto says hello.
Right.
Payday 2 says hello.
If you can spin that into not Left 4 Dead, what's their zombie, the Insomniac zombie game? The one with the hit TV show. Why can I not remember the name of this?
And it's done by Insomniac.
Yeah, no, Naughty Dog. I'm sorry. Last of Us. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
God. Yeah, just one of the biggest video games of all time. I can't remember it. But, like, if you can spin that sort of MTX treadmill, to just, like, call it what it is, into the Last of Us multiplayer mode, it seems like you got a winner. I mean, nothing's going to be as big as GTA 5's nakedly gambling, greedy online service. But I think that's to me is the biggest thing, because it's too far along to cancel PlayStation Portal, and everything else seems like it's kind of in flight. But that seems like the thing that you could maybe pivot away from, and in an interesting way. So
I don't know. Hopefully they don't come in with a bunch of big brand new ideas and we start hearing about NFTs again.
Oh God!
For whoever the new, whoever's going to be officially taking over.
It's going to be AI generated levels.
Probably. I mean, we missed the NFT stuff with PlayStation Stars, which still a program that's going that I really like, and it's just tailor made for NFTs. And thankfully, they have done zero with that, which I really appreciate. Yeah, man, I don't know. Last news story we have here: SAG-AFTRA talks with game companies fail to reach an agreement. So the SAG-AFTRA union has been talking to major publishers and developers like EA, Activision, Take-Two, Warner Brothers, like kind of all of your big publishers, about a successor to the interactive media agreement, which was set to expire last year. The interactive media agreement, from what I have seen, is basically just a listing of your basic requirements for making union works in the video game space. So just like we see with other media, it's basically like, hey, if you want to do this, great. Here are the things we require you to do. Not a super big deal. The SAG-AFTRA quote here is, quote, "No deal was reached and the current agreement will remain in effect while the parties make final efforts to reach a deal," end quote. At the same time, there was a strike authorization vote amongst the union's 160,000 members, with 98% voting in favor of a potential strike. Reminder, we're voting for
potential.
Potential strike doesn't mean it's going to happen. It just means if it comes down to it, we're saying go ahead and start a strike. Just like the strike that is in kind of getting wrapped up in the movie and TV world.
Yeah, it's usually used as just an extra thing in their pocket for we're coming to the table to deal with you. If you
Right.
decide you don't want to deal with us, we are ready to strike.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
which I've said it once and I said it again. Yeah, get that money. Everyone
That's
deserves
right.
to be paid.
Especially in the video game, we were just talking about GTA 5's online. None of the developers that work on GTA 5 get any percentage of the bajillions of dollars that game makes. That sucks.
Yep.
That's not okay.
Yep.
And it's not that every individual developer or designer needs to get 100% of that, but they definitely should be getting their fair share of it.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. And if you ever want a breakdown on if you want a really good breakdown on the current writer strike in Hollywood and everything that's going on, you should go listen to the second episode of Remap Radio. They have a video game lover who happens to be a writer on.
Oh,
and
nice.
he talks about like all of the different unions and how they operate with each other, like the traders union or whatever it's called, the people who drive the trucks essentially. They get permission to not cross picket lines even though they're not on strike, so they get permission to be like, yeah, I can't deliver here, bye.
Yeah, they're solidarity.
Yeah, it was very interesting to listen to him talk, because it was basically like dealing with like foreign governments for the most part.
Oh, interesting.
You know? So
yeah, so the union is asking.
Remap Radio has been really good.
I gotta start listening to it. I like those guys. The union is asking these companies to agree to the following 6 things. Number 1, the same wage increases for video game performers as those in TV and film, 11% retroactive to the deal's expiration, and 4% in both the second and third years of the agreement. The union argues these are necessary to account for inflation. So far, seems fair.
Yeah.
Number 2, artificial intelligence protections around consent, control, transparency, and compensation. Again, more than fair. AI can go launch itself into the sun. Also, it's just still machine learning. Stop doing all of that stuff.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's mostly the corporate greed that is turning this into a very bad thing.
We haven't talked about it in a while. I will clarify my point. I don't think machine learning is inherently bad. It is when you steal the work of others without their consent, that's when it's bad. You want to train it on your own stuff that you own? Man, go crazy. No problems.
Yeah.
Just don't steal other people's stuff. Number 3, on-camera performers to be given rest periods of 5 minutes per hour, the same as off-camera performers. That seems more than fair. I'm asking some questions about how much rest you get right now and probably not liking the answer, but, here we are.
Yeah.
Number 4, set medics to be present where any stunts or hazardous work is performed, as is the case with TV and film. Same question as before, is like, why not already? Yep. What?
Yeah, I can't believe that they already don't have it for any stunt work that they do for video game, like motion capture and all that stuff. Like,
that's wild. So
yeah, please
do that. Yes. Number 5, prohibitions against stunts on performers' self-taped auditions. Yes. Yeah, you shouldn't be shouldn't be doing that. That also seems very fair. So
yep.
Yes. And number 6, protections against vocal stress. Yes, that should also, these seem like pretty basic things, which you should get, and then the industry should maybe be better to all of its employees overall. So, and maybe more people should unionize. So, those all seem pretty fair, which hopefully will get agreed to, and then the industry won't have to shut down for a while. Which, if it does, that's fine. We'll talk about something else for a while. Y'all like books?
We'll talk about all the games that we've missed so far this year.
Super Mario World. How's that game? That's a good one.
Dude, we all have backlogs. That's an easy space to fill.
Yes, I was actually just silently thinking that, if the video game industry as a whole goes on a strike, that would probably be enough time for me to knock out 1 or 2 other games.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So, best of luck. I mean, if it needs to come down to a strike to get set medics for like stunt work, please do that. You should have that on set. That's
even
wild.
Just getting a pay raise, because Jennifer Hale, like a very well-known voice actor for video games, was talking. I don't remember where I heard it, but she was basically talking about how she puts in all this work and she's not making like millions of dollars,
Right.
doing this. She's getting like $300 for like a 10-hour audio session,
Right.
or something along those lines. And I think it's because we don't ever hear that. We don't know what contracts are made up with,
You think like Jennifer
anybody,
Hale,
really.
she's been in everything. She has to have a ton of money at this point.
Yeah, and she's basically saying, no, like, I have to stack up jobs. I have to continually interview for new jobs just so that I can keep getting money. And it's like,
right.
It's just kind of surprising, especially when you
sucks.
hear about how much video games make. It's just like any other company in this world right now.
Right.
How all companies are hand over fist with profits, and the rest of us are sitting here going, I'm barely, able to buy
I can't
toilet
afford
paper,
bread.
let alone find it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't have it here in the news stories because it's just the biggest bummer news story this year. But Epic Games laid off 16% of their workforce, which is 900 employees, because they are... Tim Sweeney is too interested in fighting with Apple and getting into the metaverse still, that they laid off that many people, and he still gets to keep his job.
Yeah.
Which is totally swear word.
It's garbage.
Insert a lot of swear words right there. Yeah. So, yes, please, more video game shops unionize. Please go fight for more deals like this. Please get more job security and more money, because you all deserve it. And
pretty much,
the rich owners do not. So, yeah.
Nope.
All right, that's all of our news stories for this week, and we're gonna get away from all these tech issues. I'm gonna close these blinds a little bit. That didn't help. All right.
Punched in the face by the sun.
Yeah, I know. It's my turn. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including a link to the Discord server. Please come out and hang out with us over there. The best community on the internet, hanging out, chilling, talking about games, and the website I found where you can listen to a new album every day that is very entertaining, of the wild stuff we're getting. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. Everything we record that goes on the public feed has a video version over there as well. This might not be the best episode to start with, so maybe check out any of the other ones. So I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this one because tech issues. And don't forget the Patreon, patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
Get all the cool early access, behind the scenes, exclusive stuff. $5 a month is the tier. That's the one you want to aim for. It's just per month too. We release like 10 episodes a month or something like that over there for $5. Like, you're losing money by not signing up for it. And if you
fun for a $5. Let's
I was right there, man. Now I got to change the name of that.
And it's in the
tier
chat too.
That's right. If you can't support us financially, totally understand. We just talked about, late stage capitalism and news stories. You can support us in a ton of other ways, like commenting, subscribing on YouTube, spending a couple monies buying merch.tvgp.tv, telling your friends, be that super annoying one that's like, hey, can I see your phone? I'm just going to download a podcatcher and put the only podcast you need on your phone. Here you go. Enjoy. There's like 800 episodes. Be that person. Go be the annoying friend for a good cause. And that cause is TVGP. Yes. That's all we got. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
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 Okay. Hold on. Let me close this. Let me close this curtain a little bit while Nimpy, tell me about your titles.
All right. I have the most cursed episode, Punched in the Face by the Sun, My Phoenix Down Moment, Going Mask On, The Danny Pikachu, Having a Day, and Go Be That Annoying Friend.
All right, Moon, what do you have?
Punched in the Face by the Sun, A Big Winner, and Whose Eyes Are These Eyes?
I have, you want to see Butterfly? What's This Game? And Punched in the Face by the Sun.
I think it's Punched in the Face by the Sun.
I think so. Just gonna circle that guy right there. Let me know when you're
I'm
ready.
ready. Do.
Oh man. Tech issues.
Sure, I'm ready.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 832 for October 2nd, 2023. Punched in the face by the sun.
Make sure you wear eye protection.
Watch the stream video, because you can see us all have it in 2 hours.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out and watching us. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.